What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're back here in my shop and I'm doing a little bit of maintenance on a boat trailer. So what I'm doing today is I am repacking some bearings, replacing some bearings, gonna pack some bearings and reinstall the hub onto the axle. So this is the boat trailer we're working on. I've got the other side taken apart. So I've had a few people ask me before, how do you pack bearings without the tool? So I'm gonna show you guys how to do that, and then we're gonna put this hub back together with our new bearings and seal and put it back on the trailer and be good to go. So packing bearings without the tool is a little bit of a tedious job, but there's a specific way that I do it that I think works really well. So I'm gonna show you how to do that right now. Okay, so this is a pretty dirty job. So I'm gonna try to do this in front of the camera without touching the camera. So what we have is just some all-purpose grease. This works for wheel bearings and such. This is one of the old bearings. So what a lot of people will do is just grab grease and rub it all over the outside of the bearing, spin it, and then call it good. But that's not how you actually pack a bearing. So this is a dirty job, but I'm going to show you how to do it. We're going to do it on the new bearing so I don't waste any grease. So I'm going to open that up and show you what we got going on. Alright, so our new bearings came with new races, but I'm not going to use these because inside the hub they're still good. So first step is inspect your bearing, make sure that everything is nice, it rolls like it's supposed to, and now we get to the fun part. So, right hand, left hand. If you're right-handed, you want to put a huge daub of grease in your left hand, just like that. Alright, now here is the trick. You want to get grease inside all of these roller bearings. So what I do is come in here and you push the grease into the roller bearings like this. Now if you look close, you can see the grease starting to come out the other side. That's what you want. You know there's grease inside the entire bearing. So then we'll rotate and we'll do this again. Basically all you're doing is you're pushing the grease in here with pressure on the palm of your hand. And you need to do this all the way around. Once you've done this all the way around, just take your bearing and give it a light coat on the outside like so. And you can see there's grease packed all the way around both sides. We'll set this one aside and do the other one. Just like that, our bearings are packed. Now we can get rid of these. Okay, so of course this is the front of your hub, this is the rear of your hub. Putting more gloves on because I know I'm going to get dirty again. Alright, the next step is to take one of our bearings with the smaller taper going in, place it inside of our hub, then we have our seal that we will hammer into place. So for this step, you don't really need a fancy tool. If you have a socket big enough, it'd be helpful to help push this in square. But if you take your time and work your way around the seal, you can get it to set in flush just like that. So now we'll move over to the trailer. Over here at the trailer, we've already cleaned off our spindle. So what we need to do is take just a light coat of grease and re-grease our spindle. Now a lot of people will use a ton of grease to do this. They don't require to be saturated, you know, floating in grease. You just need a coat on here. And once you put your dust cap on, it's going to keep dirt from getting in this grease and tearing up your bearings. And we take our hub, slide it on until the seal presses over the seal lip on the back of the hub. We're going to take our outer bearing, and put it in place. Next step is our washer, and then our castle nut. Once we have our castle nut installed, we need to go ahead and preload these bearings a little bit. So the easiest way to do that is before you put any pressure on them, give them a spin and see how much resistance you have. We're using channel locks because that's what's laying over here. So we'll give this a little twist. We still can spin this pretty easy. Now we need to line up our cotter pin holes, which you can't see, but it's right there. So we're going to tighten this up a little bit more, like so. And now we've got a good pressure on these bearings. If you don't preload the bearings, they'll sit in here and chatter and they'll wear out prematurely. So you want to preload these, but you don't want to tighten this nut with an impact or something like that. You just want it nice and snug. Next we can insert our cotter pin. Then we need to fold our cotter pin over. And that's going to be it. The next step is going to be to put our dust cap on, but of course my kit didn't come with one, so I'm going to have to get one of those next. The dust cap goes on almost like the seal does. You just tap it around, and that'll keep dirt from getting into the outside of your hub. So after that's done, you put your wheel back on, torque your lug nuts, and you're done. So just like that, you've packed your bearings and reinstalled your hub. Pretty straightforward process, but the bearings need to be packed inside and out to make sure that there's enough grease in there that the bearing can be well lubricated. So like I said before, don't use a ton, use enough, and always preload your bearings a little bit so that they don't chatter and you have an issue down the road. So, quick little channel update. I've been really busy working on the Packards outside, trying to get those out of here so that I can get back on the projects for the channel. I've shipped off a bunch of parts off the 4-door Packard. The 2-door Packard is getting ready to go over to Belgium, I think. So all that stuff's in the works, getting moving. I'm going to get the Trailblazer back in the shop here and get the engine bay detailed, painted, and put back together. So look for that in the next couple of videos. Be sure that you guys always follow me on Instagram. I try to post up there daily, things that I'm doing up at RPM Motorsports and things that I'm doing here at my shop. It's really hot right now, so I want to get back inside. I'm going to throw the wheel back on this trailer and then I'll be done with it. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. Be sure that you check out some other videos on the channel. There will be a few that pop up at the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.